Enoch, who was taken up into the sky as a boy, a 12-year-old boy. Now Enoch is hardly to control because there is only one original book of Enoch. And therefore I bring you another example out of the Bible which is easy to control for every one of you. Just take any Bible, and at the end of any Bible of the Old Testament you find the story of the prophet Ezekiel. That you can control. Now, first we have to know, who is Ezekiel? Ezekiel was a high priest in Jerusalem, a high priest of the Jewish temple. And at his time, Jerusalem was taken over by the Babylonians, and all the high society were taken into imprisonment, including Ezekiel, because his profession was a high priest. So he arrived together with many other prisoners in Babylon, somewhere on a river. The river's name was Chebar. And while all these prisoners were working there, they heard the noise in the sky. And they looked up there, and they saw something coming down. Now before I continue, I want to show you 4 pictures out of an old Bible. Old means about 250 years old. Simply to give you an impression what our forefathers had in mind when they read Ezekiel. Then I explain you our modern explanation, and this will end with the fantastic computer animation. So step by step, Ezekiel and his prisoner, they see something coming down. This object is coming closer and closer, and there is a noise, a terrible noise. Ezekiel describes the noise and compares it with the wings of warrior, of chairs, with the thundering of a waterfall. Simply imagine, what is the thundering of a waterfall? Chairs of warrior carried, so must have been very, very extremely loud noise. Now finally, this object comes to a standstill. In the meantime, all the prisoners ran away, except Ezekiel. He is high priest by profession, and he thinks, of course, that now the Lord is sent. So it's up to him to give honor to the Lord, to give the first salute, the greetings to the Lord. So he stands up, Ezekiel, and then he realizes there is something standing before him which is not divine. It can't be the Lord. Ezekiel first describes the whole object which stands before him as the splendorness of the highest. And now, dear listener, this is very, very important. I know Ezekiel in Hebrew and also in Latin, and in the original language. In the whole Ezekiel text, the word God never appears. When you read your Bible, be it the German Bible or the English Bible, you always read the Lord descended. Not in the original. He always speaks of the highest, somewhere up there. So he stands there, Ezekiel, and before him is a big object. He calls it the splendorness of the highest. He describes on top of it was something glittering, and inside of this glittering was someone sitting like a man in glittering clothes. A little low, he saw 4 living creatures. 4 living creatures, and these living creatures had wings. And Ezekiel clearly describes when the wings moved, they made this terrible noise, which I just said before. Down at the wings, he sees wheels, 4 wheels, and now Ezekiel is completely confused because wheels at his times can go forward and backward. But the wheels he sees here, they do not only go forward and backward, they go right and left at the same time without making a steering movement. To understand this, you are sitting in your car. Now you have your steering wheel. You move because you want to go into a curve. Now the 2 front wheels make a steering movement so you can go into the curve. Ezekiel's wheel, they can go forward, backward, right, left without a steering movement. This confuses him completely. He describes this wheel 4 times. Under the wheel, he sees some legs, and the legs were straight and they sparkled like metal. etc., etc. I don't have to refer to the whole Ezekiel. You can do that by yourself.